Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Sandra Mom, and as you know, I am a mom of someone who has a substance use disorder. Today I am going to give you an update of Ben's recovery and as well as my recovery over the last little while. For those that are following, I know I did a video, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and it was a pretty good update. It's a little bit different this time around, but I'm just going to give you a quick snapshot of what's been going on. Ben has chose recovery back in March, and since then he really wanted it, and he was doing the work, and he had a blip, and I think I mentioned that in the last video. He had a blip, and he chose recovery right after that blip, which was great. And we always say sometimes part of recovery is relapse. Ben called it a blip. It's a relapse if you start using in the middle of your recovery. And so he started over again, and then just a week ago he had another relapse, and actually he was missing in action. I had no idea where he was, and I'm going to explain what I did. And moving on, as of last night, early this morning, Ben had a pretty serious overdose this weekend. I'm not going to get into the details, but he's a miracle. He's a walking miracle, and I am so grateful that I heard from him this morning. And he is now starting over again. And I just want to say I'm really proud of him for what he is doing. You know what? It sucks when he's missing in action. It sucks when you hear about ODs. It totally sucks. But as long as he keeps getting up, that's all that matters to me, because I have no control over what he does. For me, during all of this, in the past, before my recovery, before I started doing the hard work on myself, I used to be on the roller coaster with him. Now, since I've been working on my recovery, I've been basically watching the roller coaster. That's my saving grace. My saving grace is that I have been working on my recovery, because in the past I would have gone and I would have rescued him. This morning when he called, he asked for help and he wanted me to go pick him up, but I chose to sit with it before I did anything, because I needed to continue working on my recovery and not just run and try to make everything better. What I did is I sat and I remembered my 3 C's. I didn't cause it, I can't control it, and I can't cure it. I didn't ask him any questions. I remembered that I have support, and the main thing is I didn't want to rescue him. So this morning when he called me, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to pick him up unless he has somewhere to go, because he certainly isn't coming to my place. I am sticking to my boundaries. He may not like it, but he knows that I'm doing my recovery. And he chose recovery. And so he made some phone calls, and he had a place to go. So I picked him up, and he is back to the beginning. And I just want to say I'm really proud of him, because he is choosing recovery. I want to say that whether you're the person with the substance use disorder or the loved one, we all have choices. And I choose to stick to my recovery program, because if I didn't have it, I look back the last few weeks and the roller coaster that Ben has been on, I would not have been in a good state of mind to actually make good decisions that would be best for myself and for Ben. So I'm so grateful that I have learned to do what is best for both of us. I know for me, I've mentioned it over and over, self-care. And, you know, I think back, what is insanity? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, I know that there's many people out there in the same position as myself. And I know I had to come to terms that what I was doing in the past was not working. And that's when I chose recovery. And I chose to do program. I chose to get support. Again, I will link below supports for both the substance user and the loved ones. There is support out there. And I just want to say recovery is hard work. So that is one of the reasons people may be questioning, why aren't you forcing him into a treatment center? Because it is hard work. The person needs to want it, whether it is the person with the substance use disorder or the loved one, such as myself. It is hard work. And if I'm not willing to do the work, I'll go back to my old ways and be back in that insanity and the unmanageable life that I was living. So I just am here to share my experience, what has worked for me, what Ben is doing. I am taking it one day at a time, because one day he could be in recovery and doing his work, and the next day something may change. All I know is that I love him, and I'm going to love him to live. I am not going to love him to death. And I say that because I believe that had I not gotten support, if I hadn't gotten support for myself, I may have kept him in his addiction longer, because I would have given him money. I would have sheltered him. I would have ran out there and tried to fix it. In the end, I know that Ben needs to choose recovery, and again, he is choosing recovery today. And I'm so proud of his choice. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I know that today is a good day, and that I have my self-care and my program, and I'm going to continue to work it, because when I think back what I would have done the last few weeks, if this was years ago, it may not have been a good result, because I would have been so stressed out. I wouldn't have been able to help him. I wouldn't have been able to be there for him. Please remember, where there is breath, there is hope. Take care of yourself, everyone. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye for now.